You are now listening to Sorrel Gore MD.
Sorrel MD. AI can replace all physicians, not just radiologists. I think a lot of radiologists feel unfairly targeted. Like, why is this happening to me? I studied hard. Why is it that my job is up for grabs to the computers? And what I want to say is that theoretically, artificial intelligence could affect all physicians, not just radiologists. But let's just talk about why it is that radiologists are in the spotlight. So, artificial intelligence is a branch of the large category of computer science. Artificial intelligence is split up into multiple fields or domains, just like radiology. AI has different domains. One of the domains happens to be in image processing and computer vision. The best way to understand this is to think about how we process imaging data. We go outside, we see a tree, the road, the sun, the mountains. We are able to parse this imaging data set and create meaning from it and interact with that environment. So computer scientists were trying to train computers to do this. Now, of course, initially, the computers were pretty bad at this, but all of a sudden, a few years ago, there was a certain inflection point. The computers got really good. Now, I'm not really sure why this happened. I think maybe the graphics cards all of a sudden just got really good, or maybe the processors were suddenly fast enough. This sort of reminds me of how Mario went from being a 2D side-scrolling game to being a 3D game like Super Mario 64. But anyways, all of a sudden the computers had access to algorithms that allowed them to correctly identify various images. All right, so for example, there could be a picture of a cat at somebody's house, and you could show it to the computer, and the computer would say, "Yep, that's a cat." All right. As soon as people realized that they had a system in place, they had a computer that could categorize imaging data, they thought about what's the best way to monetize this new ability. And of course, the expensive world of medical imaging came into purview. Imaging is the data that the computers are learning how to understand. This could be any type of imaging data. The computers don't care. So theoretically, any field of medicine that deals with images is at risk. So for example, the field of pathology. Pathology is the visual study of slides of a patient's tissue. There is no reason that a computer couldn't acquire a data set and create an algorithm, create a statistical program to analyze that data and start categorizing pathology slides. So theoretically, a pathologist's job is also at risk. What about other fields? What about dermatology? All right. I remember what somebody told me on my first day of the dermatology rotation. Dermatology is a visual field. No doubt. If you open up any dermatology textbook, you will be faced with an array of hundreds and thousands of patients' rashes. All right? Take those images, feed it to a computer with a deep learning algorithm, and now you have a system that can diagnose people's rashes. All right? And you can replace, theoretically, dermatologists. They're not necessarily just interested in imaging data. They're interested in intelligence. All right? They're interested in all types of data. They're interested in studying all types of data and manipulating and working with all types of data. So as physicians, we all deal with data. What if you're an internal medicine physician and you're using pieces of data like heart rate or blood pressure or oxygenation in order to make clinical decisions? Well, there's no reason that we can't digitize that data, feed it into a large data set, and have computers work with it in order to deduct patterns and then create clinical decisions from that data. So theoretically, internal medicine is at risk. Here's what I'm really trying to say. Theoretically, everybody's job is at risk, and in reality, no one's job is at risk. Just because a computer and a word processor exists doesn't mean that there's no value in using a paper and pencil. In fact, I would argue that at this time right now, in 2018, there's a lot more value in a paper and pencil because what you write down on a piece of paper is not automatically uploaded and sent to a data processing unit like Facebook or Google. What you write on a piece of paper stays between you and that piece of paper, and that actually makes a piece of paper and a pencil more valuable today than it was in the past. Radiologists have a ton of value. I know this because I'm a radiologist. I don't think that we have to worry about our jobs being replaced anytime soon. And if we do, I think we'll be sharing the side of the street with dermatologists, pathologists, and pretty much every other physician that uses data in order to create their decisions. So that's my 2 cents. I'm Surel Garmdi. Thanks for watching.